What's up, y'all? It's Ty in this video. Today, we're going to be going over talking about ranking our top 10 power forwards right now in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. Now, for this, I did everyone that's power forward eligible. So, guys that are on my small forward list could be included. Guys that are going to be on my center list are going to be included. Why? It's just hard for me if I don't, because like Joel Embiid. Do I think Embiid's better at center? Yes. Do I think, let's say, I'm just going to throw Giannis is better at small forward? Yes. But at the end of the day, it's like, if you have them at power forward, it's so pick and choose, Like, I think Giannis is just as good at power forward as he is at small forward. So who am I to tell you guys where to run? Those types of things. I will say I think the power forward position is more deep than the small forward position, but that's besides the point. I am going to plug in a number 11 here in Wilt Chamberlain, just honorable mention. Wilt gets some crazy rebounding animations. Defensively, the card's still a beast. Obviously, for Wilt, I feel like you got to find one that is, slightly souped up, especially, now I feel like there's not that many people wanting to run Wilt, so should be able to get the card for a lot cheaper, but is definitely a guy that I did want to mention. As we do dive into number 10, please smash that subscribe button. My number 10, Galaxy Opal, Jaren Jackson Jr. Now, I think Jaren is one of the more complete power forwards in the game. 6'10", 93 ball, 90 speed. So the most two important stats at 90, you maybe could wish for a little bit higher, but it's fine. Defensively, a beast. Jaren base on quick, absolutely incredible. Hot spots from 4 to 5 places. There's just not a whole lot of negative things I can say about Jaren. I think that this card is super complete. The only negative thing that I think I can say is the fact that he is going to be the shortest guy that I talk about today. It's kind of the same issue. It's more extravagant or more of a big issue with Bob McAdoo, but I like Bob McAdoo. He's just undersized. Jaren's not that undersized, especially if you play like Giannis at the 3, but the card is still only 6'10" compared to a lot of people running cards that are 7 feet, 7'1", those types of things. Jaren's still a beast, 6'10", gonna knock down shots, has an incredible release, gonna play defense. I really do like Jaren coming in here at my number 10. At my number 9, we've got the hyped up Joakim Noah. So I'm only gonna really gas Joakim Noah with the duo. Without the duo, I don't think he's quite as good. But I still think Joakim Noah's Galaxy Opal is good. So let's say right now you're running the duo, but eventually you get tired of Corey Brewer. Well, Joakim Noah can still play without the duo. With the duo, obviously sees the set shot specialist go to Hall of Fame. Sees obviously dunking, strength go up, ball handle go up a little bit, break starter go up, unpluckable go up, pick dodger go to Hall of Fame. He honestly doesn't get that much better. Honestly, like when I'm looking at the upgrades, like sure he gets a lot of extra Hall of Famers, but they're not that important. Big thing for me is he has the Bismack Biyombo base on very quick. That's the main attraction here for Joakim Noah. Outside of that, again, Joakim Noah is good, but he is 6'11", defensively a pretty much a stud, but he does have the basic leaner. That's not great. The only real thing I love about him is that release. That release is off the charts good. Outside of that, though, Joakim Noah isn't anything that special to me. The card's good, the card's fine, but if it weren't for that release, I wouldn't be nearly as high on Joakim Noah. Coming in at my number 8, I'm plugging in Dark Matter Joel Embiid. I feel like the card's a little bit weird, and the main reason is I just don't love the release of Joel Embiid. It is easy to time easy green, because every time I play against Joel Embiid, I feel like people green a ton of shots with him. If you look at Joel Embiid, the actual card, he looks really, really, really solid. Again, 94 3-ball. People don't miss with it. It is just kind of a slow release and kind of baited in my opinion. 90 speed, really solid defensively. Obviously, Joel Embiid on very quick is better than Joel Embiid on normal, but it's still the same base and the same kind of set shot I don't love. Hot spots for everywhere, wide player build. Joel Embiid is good. I just think when you're looking at the top dogs, there are cards that are just simply better. Coming in at my number 7, I've got Dark Matter Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, Giannis, you could have higher, you could have lower. I think this is the perfect spot for Giannis. I'm personally taking Giannis over Joel Embiid. A lot of people might like Joel Embiid more than Giannis. I think Giannis at this stage probably is more valuable at that small forward position. The problem for me is I just get my icons mixed up so much with Giannis, with Joakim Noah. It's not a good recipe if you're trying to switch icons a bunch. It's just not. 79 3-ball, 96 speed, really solid defender, good defensive badges as well. I think there's just something special about Giannis on 2K. I don't know what it is. I think it's his player build. I think it's his animation. The card just always plays better than he should. It's just Giannis. I don't know how else to describe it. Giannis based on quick, better than Giannis on normal. People ask me all the time, Ty, how much better is Dark Matter Giannis than Galaxy Opal Giannis? I mean, he is better, higher three ball, quicker release, but it's not anything game changing because Giannis at the end of the day is still going to be Giannis. I think there's a more bigger difference between the Pink Diamond and the Galaxy Opal than there is between the Galaxy Opal and the Dark Matter. Coming in at my number 6, I've got Dark Matter Chet Holmgren. A lot of people, including myself, I don't know about Chet still to this day. I think the card is good. I'm not sold on him. And I think a lot of mine stems from the fact that I use Chet in play now, and there's just times that I'm not in love with him. 96 3-ball is fine, 90 speed, great defense. I think it's his release. Like, yes, on very quick, his release is going to be better than on normal. I get all that. But I still think Chet's release leaves something to be desired. Again, it's not bad. I just think it's not perfect. I just think there is something that it could be better, right? Like, that's my main point here, is it just could be slightly better. And I think that's my big problem with Chet. Pro dribble style is fine. Defensively, again, great. He is 7'1". I think that's part of the reason I like him more than Joel Embiid, is he's just a little bit taller. I feel like animation-wise, Chet is good. I don't know. There's just something I have against Chet, and I think a lot of it stems from me in play now. If I liked him in play now slightly more, I'd probably like him in my team more. And the cards are different. I get that. The cards are way different in play now in my team. Just saying it's part of probably what it stems from. At my number 5, I'm plugging in Dark Matter Hakeem Olajuwon. Yes, I like Hakeem more than Chet. Yes, I like Hakeem more than Joel Embiid. Now, I gotta just say this. I haven't had Hakeem for that long, so I still am 50 with his jump shot. I don't consistently green with Hakeem, but it's the same thing that I have with Joakim Noah, Corey Brewer. Until you play with cards enough, you are going to miss some easy shots. It's just the way it is on this game. Hakeem, 89 3-ball, 90 speed, great defense. The thing I love most about Hakeem Olajuwon, though, is his player model player booth. It's this thing I always like most about Hakeem. It's the thing that you can't make up for. He's got one of the best player builds in the game always. Even in 2K20, it was the same thing as now. Because of his wide player build, he gets you pure stops. His release is actually super quick. It just comes down to the fact that I've got to get better at greening with it. Hakeem is the real deal on this game. I'm telling you right now, he is my starting power forward right now, and it's probably not going to change for the foreseeable future. I love his wide player model player build. I get a lot of stops with him. I get a lot of boards with him. I just think it comes down to a simple, I need to green more shots with Hakeem Olajuwon. And yeah, it's a my issue more than it's a Hakeem issue, and I will admit that to everybody. I've got to get better with Hakeem. But as I do, he's going to get better and better for me. Coming in at my number 5. At my number 4, I'm plugging him in over him. I don't care. Dark Matter David Robinson. Now, I still to this day am running Galaxy Opal David Robinson. Why? I like D-Rob. I think D-Rob gets good animations. He's 7'1". The Galaxy Opal gives you a lot of what the Dark Matter does. Now, obviously, the Dark Matter is going to be slightly better. It just comes down to right now, I don't have the funds for him. 92 3-ball, 96 speed, better stats than Hakeem Olajuwon. Release-wise, D-Rob, I'm very quick. People still don't love the upper to it. For me, I don't mind the Galaxy Opal release, so I know I'm not going to mind the Dark Matter release, right? It's going to be kind of the same type of thing. I'm not going to mind it that much whatsoever. And so for me, I think D-Rob is an absolute beast. Now, if you don't like the D-Rob upper, you're probably not going to love Dark Matter D-Rob, but at 7'1", I think at the power forward position, the card is super cheesy on this game. Coming in at my number 3, I've got 100 overall Kristaps Porzingis. And yes, he's at number 3. Again, I don't even love the fact that I've got him this low, but I think that this is the right place to have Kristaps Porzingis. If you guys disagree with me, you guys can let that be known down below in the comments. 7'2", he's got a good release. I feel like even his release on normal is good, so obviously a very quick, good D-book dribble style. I wish his leaner was something different than the basic leaner. Like, it's fine, you can still green with it. I just personally wish it was something a little bit better, a little more consistent for me. 7'2", 7'6" wingspan, basically max stats. He's gonna have basically max badges. There's not a whole lot of negative things you can say about this card. The only thing I think at this stage is a lot of it comes down to animations. Do you love Kristaps' animations or not? And it just comes down to, I've used somebody else at my number 2 that I like animation-wise slightly more than Kristaps Porzingis. And a lot of people might disagree with me on that, but I think it's kind of, I think people do agree. I think KP is kind of that skinny player build that isn't bad per se, but isn't necessarily next level good. And I think a lot of people at this stage still like Kristaps, but are realizing like that there are just simply better power forwards in the game right now. Again, Kristaps can obviously play center and is still going to be really good for you. At my number 2, Dark Matter Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And you guys can say I'm gassing Kareem, but trust me, this card is the real deal. 7'2", 7'5" wingspan. His player build is elite, as always. Kareem always has elite player builds. 79 3 ball. Now, that's the one thing that a lot of people might say holds him back. I get it, right? He's got a 79 3 ball, but he does have hot spots from 3 out of 4 plays around the arc. Everybody at this stage comes with at least gold dime, or a lot of people come with it on Hall of Fame. And guess what? He has that Hall of Fame set shot specialist. So with the 79 3 ball with Hall of Fame set shot specialist, you should be able to hit with Kareem, especially with his solid release. His release is really easy to time, really easy to green. And so when I'm looking at this Kareem card, I think defensively, he's slightly better than Kristaps, not by much, but I do think he's slightly better defensively than Kristaps, and I think he does enough for me to be slightly higher on him than a Kristaps Porzingis. Again, that's my personal opinion. From playing with Kareem, playing against him, I do not think that this card can do anything wrong on the floor. Yes, I'm biased for him because, again, I did a gameplay with him. The card was absolutely elite, absolutely incredible. But Kareem does come in at my number 2. Coming in at my number 1, Shaquille O'Neal, 100 overall. If you've played against Shaq, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Talk about animations. Shaq gets some of the craziest animations I have ever seen. His jump shot, sure, I don't necessarily think it's the easiest to green, but it's super quick. It's tough to contest against. 7'1", wide player model, wide player build. Chris Bosh on very quick. Franz upper is weird on it, but he comes with the Garland dribble style. Shaq is just a cheese ball, guys. He is 7'1". He's the best defensive power forward in the game. Do I think Kareem is nearly as good as Shaq? Absolutely. Especially for their prices, I would tell you Kareem is way more worth it than picking up Shaq. But I'm telling you, if you want the best power forward in the game, it is right now Dark Matter Shaquille O'Neal. It is. You guys can hate me for having Shaq this high, but that's genuinely where I'm at with the card. I think Shaq is the real deal on this game. If you get the card, I feel like you're going to have to figure out the release. It's something like when I did my Shaq gameplay, I didn't have Shaq's release down right away, but I've played against Shaq enough to have him at my number 1 spot. The best power forward in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. That is going to wrap it up for our power forward top 10 list today. Let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comments. Who was I too high on? Who was I too low on? Who did I leave off that you guys ultimately would have included? Let me know. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you are doing as always, man. I love you guys. Have a blessed day.